Hello, I'm trying to think of a goal for teaching my class this year, and since I'm having trouble thinking of making that goal, I thought I would present my year's 15 things that I learned during the school year. Most of them have something to do with something that happened at school, but some of them just have things to do with things that happened throughout this year. So I am going to set of lessons that I learned. So the first one that I learned, lesson number one, is it's nice to take a break when you're sick. Previously, in my days of teaching school, I don't know why, but I just never wanted to take a sick day. So I went to school sick. During the pandemic, in April, there was a time that I got super sick and couldn't even hardly get out of bed. So, I took kind of a break and just did really easy things with my students and didn't worry too much about it. And I found out that, yes, in the future when I'm sick, I don't need to go to school. Lesson number two that I learned this year is it's a lot easier to teach when you set up routines. I'm always big into routines and I like them. And I've always had somewhat of one, but I had a really good one that I set up this year. And I think it made my year go a lot smoother and easier to plan and all of that stuff. So, number three, the lesson I learned number three this year is Christmas videos take a lot of work, but they're a lot of fun. This is the second year I've had my French 3 students do it, and they always do amazing, interesting things in their Christmas videos. I'm excited to maybe try more. All right. My fourth lesson that I learned this year is every year needs its Despacito wave. And you're like, what do you mean by that? Well, I had 2 years ago a class invent a story about SpongeBob, and it ended with a bunch of critters in the sea singing Despacito and then making a wave that saved the entire planet. And so it was kind of an inside joke. And when I asked my students what they thought of the year, somebody made a comment saying, "Where was the Despacito wave this year?" So it was like, yeah, I guess a good lesson is get more inside jokes. We needed some this year, and I didn't have very many, especially at the end of the year when we weren't there. All right, lesson number 5 that I learned this year is to be careful what I put on Facebook, because apparently if I put it on Facebook, that means it's open season for a teacher at the school to tell her students about it. So, it was a big lesson for me this year because I put something on Facebook and somebody decided since I put it on Facebook it was okay to tell their class about. Yeah, made me mad, but such is life. All right, lesson number 6 is I learned that it's not helpful to hang around conversations that are finished, not like in the conversation, but around somewhere where just to see what people say about you when you leave. For some reason, whenever I do that, it always ends out really badly for me. I don't know about other people, but I just gotta stop doing it. It doesn't make for me to be happy. So, lesson number 7 that I learned this year is it's fun to get PD all the time. So, PD is what learning that teachers have to do. It's professional development. I learned a lot in PD this year, and I got hundreds of hours of PD. And I actually have said many times that I love learning. If they'd pay someone to go to college, I would take that job. I just love learning, and being a lifelong learner is something that I enjoy. And I'm not going to be apologetic about it. All right, number 8. I learned that nostalgia is easily destroyed. Lots of things this year got destroyed. I had a lot of nostalgia from the year before, and I was hoping that all of the goodwill I felt like I had the year before would carry over. And unfortunately, it did not all carry over. And so, great memories about something in the past can't make a good now. All right, lesson number 9 is I learned that things can change so fast. You gotta keep ahead of them and know that you can't expect everything that's gonna happen. This year was crazy and so much changed. I felt like the carpet was pulled out from under my feet all the time. COVID did that to us all, I guess. Lesson number 10 is don't let the best last year ruin an okay this year. So, I've been a teacher for 4 years, and my 3rd year, for some reason, was just so great, and nothing this 4th year could live up to it. And so I let myself get discouraged that my 4th year was not as good as my 3rd year. And so that's something I can work on for a goal for next year, and not letting past years ruin the present. Because they were better. Lesson number 11 is you don't have to volunteer for everything. It's fun to do everything, but it's not fun anymore once it becomes an expectation and everybody expects you to do everything. So, stir up the pot every once in a while and don't volunteer for something. Let someone else do it. Yeah, I don't know why, but I volunteer for everything. And last year I stepped back and did not volunteer as much. Lesson number 12 that I learned this year is cod is amazing. I love that fish. I had never eaten cod before, but I tried cod for the first time ever. It's amazing. I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but cod is the best fish ever. All right, lesson number 13 that I learned was it's nice to spend the last few minutes of the day going for a walk in the park. I've done that ever since the beginning of COVID-19, except for the week and a half that I couldn't get out of bed. And I like it. It is giving me hope that I can lose weight. I've been getting weight for a long time, but I can lose it. And I have been. All right, lesson number 14 is goodbyes are especially hard when you cannot say them. I felt like COVID-19 took away so many chances to say goodbye this year for my classes, for people that I worked with and people that I knew, and it was sad. COVID-19 ripped that chance away, and I wish I had a better chance to have done that. And then lesson 15 is take a breath. It's not personal. I let too many things get personal this year, and as I let myself step back, I realized, these things don't need to be personal. They're not. So why am I taking them personally? I don't know. It's not personal. Don't let it be. All right. Well, those are my lessons I learned this year. Hopefully you enjoy it. Thank you.